I am Danny, and welcome to my channel, Danovator, where my experiences become your adventure. Today I'm here with Spencer Frederick. He is my wife's grandfather, but we refer to him as Pawpaw, and his friends refer to him as Fred. This flagpole was presented to him by his neighbors on his 90th birthday. He is affectionately referred to as the Flag Guy. So you probably hung up about 50 flags? You maintain about 50 of the flags?
At least. Everybody had my name, and then if they wanted the flag, they would call me. And I'd go put them up, one wouldn't charge them anything.
Wow, that's Spencer is a Korean War veteran who was wounded in combat. At the age of 94, he continues to be an incredible woodworking craftsman. Spencer, along with his flagpole, was featured in a local newspaper and on a local television station. So please join me as I share my patriotic and creative pawpaw with the world. Here's a 1930 penny on the flagpole placard. That was the year he was born in the state of Alabama. Tell me about when you grew up in Alabama.
Okay. Well, I was born in 1930. We had 48 acres of ground that we made a living from. Had 2 mules and a milk cow and a outhouse, and no electricity, used all kerosene lamps. And then we carried the water from the spring about 200 yards from the house. And I carried a mini bucket of water up from that spring up that trail to the house. But it was really good water, good cold water, and it never did run dry. But anyway, I was born in an old farmhouse. There were 4 of us boys and 1 girl.
Life was tough in the South on the farm, and the military seemed to be the opportunity to provide a better life. So at 18, Spencer joined the Army.
So I went in when I was, shortly after I was 18. Went to basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Well, when I was in California waiting to ship over to Japan, the Korean War broke out. Well, I didn't go to Japan. I went to Okinawa. So they run us up and down them hills over there, for about 2 months, getting us in shape to go on into Korea. But anyway, we were running a field problem there in Okinawa one day, and then I was up down on the edge of a high bank, and there was trees growing up through it, bushes, and probably 60 or 65 feet down, but it's kind of slanted down a little bit. I was walking along there, and all of a sudden the ground just gave way from under my feet. I went right down in a hole with 2 Japanese skeletons. So I didn't introduce myself. I just went right on out the other side and all the way to the bottom on my rear end and my back.
That had to have been an incredible experience.
So anyway, we stayed there, like I say, for about 2 months, and then they put us on a Japanese ship. Well, we called it a tug then, but it was a little small Japanese ship. Went on into Korea. Then I got with the 1st Cavalry Division over there. Stayed with them on up to the Manchurian border when the Chinese first come across. Of course, I got wounded when I went across the 38th parallel and went back to the aid station for about 3 days.
A bullet penetrated his helmet, leaving about a 2-inch gash in his head and shrapnel embedded in his arm.
And then I told him, give me a Jeep and a driver. I want to go back up and get back with my outfit. If it hadn't went on, got back with them, they'd have probably sent me in as a replacement, some other outfit, and I wouldn't want nobody. So anyway, they did that. I went back up there and got with them. And then we rode tanks all the way from part of South Korea all the way up to the Chinese border. And when the tanks would pull off at night, we would dig in around them to protect them. And of course, them tanks usually got all the heavy stuff thrown at them too, you know. Anyway, then I got wounded again when we got cut off up there and next to the border. The Chinese surrounded us. And as trying to get out of there, I got shot again through the leg. But made it on out of there.
Spencer would spend about 6 months at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, where he recovered from his leg injury.
You know, then, if you got wounded twice, you didn't get 2 Purple Hearts. You got a Purple Heart and what they call a cluster. In fact, I don't think I ever wound up with a cluster, but I was supposed to got it, but I got my other medals. Yeah.
Who presents? I mean, when you get a Purple Heart, is there a big ceremony?
No, they shipped them to me.
Just they just record it and then they just
Yeah, they had all my records, and I think in St. Louis.
Spencer would get married while at Fort Campbell, and then he finished his military career at Fort Benning, Georgia, which is now Fort Moore.
Was in the motor pool down there then for about a year and a half, I guess. And I'd take these officers out to the, you know, they were going to have a jump out at the jump field. I'd take them out there and they'd grade them as they're jumping out of those aircraft. Or either running field problems, they'd grade them on that. And I'd usually just pull my Jeep around off in the shady spot and sit there until they got through, and then I'd pick them up and take them back to the base. But anyway, I had to get rid of a little water, so there's a little maple tree. It looked like a maple tree there, about 10 or 12 foot tall, and had little green sprouts.
And you got to do what you got to do when you're out there.
Yeah, that's right. So I just walked right up into that with them little green sprouts, and all in all, I was tinkling right on a rattlesnake.
Oh my goodness!
So he let me know right away that he didn't like that. And of course, he could have hit me because I probably wasn't 2 foot from him.
You think they would have gave you a Purple Heart for that?
Well, it's a wonder I hadn't got one. Purple Heart from having a heart attack.
From having a heart attack. After leaving the service, Spencer and his family settled in Memphis, Tennessee. After a short time, he began what would become a 37.5-year career, which included his military time, as a civil service employee for the local Army depot. During his time in Memphis, he would create many amazing wood creations. Papa, you built the box that this violin's in, right?
Right, yeah.
And what's the story on that violin?
Well, that violin is made by Gibson. 39, when the war was breaking out, they couldn't import any wood from overseas, so they started using local wood. So they opened up a plant in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and for about 3 or 4 years, and made violins for the military. And this one here is made for the 59th Army Band. This was made in July of 1941. And look at the back on it, that's the back, that's what they call that hard rock maple.
So that's hard rock maple.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful wood.
What's incredible is that Spencer built his own violins while living in Memphis. So how difficult was it to make a violin?
Well, it was pretty difficult. What I did, I got books and read up on it. And what caused me to want to make a violin, my great-grandfather in Alabama, when I was probably 7 or 8 years old, I went into his old farmhouse and he was sitting there in front of the fireplace making a violin. And how he was shaping it, he had a bucket full of glass, and that's what he used to shape it down and get it the thickness that it needed to be. So I always, wanted to make one. So anyway, got magazines and read up on it, and then started making them. And it's a slow process, but something I enjoyed. And of course, then I had good eyesight. Yeah, there's 40 some odd parts to a violin.
And that violin, like you had told me, a professional played it.
Yeah, he played it, and he said it was the most beautiful violin he'd ever laid eyes on, and he'd been dealing with them for 50-something years.
And you don't, like you said, you're just a craftsman. You don't know how to play the violin, though, do you?
I don't know how to play it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, to start with, I thought I'd have trouble making the scroll here.
That's that curved part right there?
Yeah, but after about one, I might have had a little trouble, but after that, it just come natural.
You definitely create some works of art.
Yeah.
We're witness of that.
Well,
so tell me about when Charlie Daniels got to see your one of your violins.
Yeah, well, I built one for my nephew, and that's him there holding the violin. And up in Ohio, and he's a friend of Charlie Daniels. So anyway, he took the violin and let Charlie Daniels play it. Charlie Daniels said it sounded pretty good. So he autographed the violin for my nephew.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so anyway, then Charlie Daniels, he died here, I don't know, probably 3 years ago. He was a good fiddler.
Spencer also, while living in Memphis, would restore some old classic cars.
1921 Model T had the wooden spoke wheels, and I restored it.
So that car, you tore it all the way down to the frame, right?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I took the body up to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Yeah,
so that's 57.
Yeah, I had it and this one at the same time. This one I restored. This one I didn't do anything to it. I sold it like it was.
And this is the 1930.
That's a 1930, yeah. And I restored it. I tore it all to pieces, took it off of the frame. And man and a woman in Camel, Texas bought that by looking at 2 pictures. And then an enclosed hauler out of Memphis and picked it up, and they took it to a car show and won first place over there in Texas.
Spencer would finally sell his last restored classic car and eventually moved to Germantown, Tennessee, which is located right down the road from Memphis. He continued to do his woodworking. Here's a table that he just built for my wife and I. And those neighbors who surprised him on his birthday with that flagpole, well, they meet up about every week in his garage, which is known as Fred's Bistro. Here's a drawing that someone made of Papa's other favorite pastime, hunting. And speaking of hunting, he built this old gun replica. So you say you built that gun right there?
Yeah.
But
it's just fiddling around.
But it's not a firing gun.
No.
But it sure looks real. Also, in the garage is where you'll find the tools of his trade. These tools, along with his creative mind, built all of his amazing creations, including these wagon wheels. So you built all these wagon wheels, didn't you?
Oh,
that's hanging up in here?
Yeah, I built several of them. The reason I guess I built the first one, when I built that cannon, I wanted to try to find 2 original wagon wheels, but it's impossible just about it to find one of them because they've been eaten up by termites or rotted. So I couldn't find one, so I just sat down and started making.
And oh yeah, that cannon is so realistically created that it looks like it could blast out an old cannonball. He even built this cross for one of his neighbors. Spencer, who is our papa, and is Fred to his friends at 94 years old, has an amazing creative mind, loves God, and loves his country. All right, I appreciate you being on my video today.
Well, you're come welcome, Danny. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if y'all enjoyed it, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. And always remember, your adventure awaits with the Danovator. I'll see y'all the next time.
Thank you.